Hey folks, today we're going to be looking at some steel shot. Steel shot is used for waterfowl hunting. This particular steel shot is Winchester's Drylok Super Steel. It is a 3-inch 12-gauge load. It has 1.25 ounces of steel number 2s in it, and it's moving at 1,400 feet per second. Number 2s are kind of a short-range goose load, more like an all-purpose steel load for hunting large ducks and geese. So we use it around here for hunting over beaver ponds and creeks, small rivers, stuff like that. So let's set up and shoot these number 2s and see how they perform. We'll be using 2 shotguns from 30 yards with our typical 12-inch bullseye target. So let's get set up and do some shooting. All right, so here we have our Winchester Model 1300. This is a 3-inch chamber 12-gauge, has a 28-inch barrel, and today we'll be testing these number 2 Dryloks with the modified choke on their 12-inch bullseye target down there at 30 yards. So let's see how these number 2s perform at this distance with this choke combination. Here we go. All right, I see some yellow down there. I don't know though. Oh, that does smell good though. Yeah, that smells nice. All right, let's switch targets out. We're going to switch over to the Remington. We'll shoot that target, and then we'll go down here and we'll look at these targets and see what we think about these Winchesters. All right, so here we have the Remington 870. This is a 12-gauge. It's a super magnum, which means it has a 3.5-inch chamber, but that's fine. A 3.5-inch chamber will shoot 3-inch shells. We have a 28-inch barrel, and we have the rim choke modified in this. So we're shooting 2 modified chokes today. We shot the modified in the Winchester, and we're shooting the modified in the Remington. So let's shoot our target in at 30 yards, our 12-inch bullseye target, and see how these Winchester Dryloks perform. Here we go. I believe I saw the wide and hit the backboard. And I can see plenty of yellow down there. All right, so let's go down to the targets. Here we have the 2 targets that we shot with the Winchester Dryloks. Now, if you remember, this is a 3-inch 12-gauge load. It has 1.25 ounces of number 2s in them, and they're moving at 1,400 feet per second. That means we have about 156 number 2 pellets in each hole. Here's the box. We have a nice green head on the front there to show us this is a waterfowl load. Says it's a plated steel shot. And sure enough, we recovered some of the pellets. They actually did deform a little bit, and you can see where the plating had cracked. But that's not really all that important. What's important is this is a non-toxic load, so it's suitable for hunting waterfowl. All right, first, let's look at the Winchester. Now remember, this is a modified choke from 30 yards. And the 12-inch circle here, we got 50 pellets, which is 32% of the load. In the 8-inch circle, we got 25 pellets, which is 16% of the load. That's respectable. Personally, I would have preferred to have 40 and 20, but that's good. We're heavy on this side with the pellets, but we have no holes that are big enough for a duck to get through. Even a wood duck or teal couldn't squeeze through any of these holes. And we definitely have enough pellets here to hammer a Canadian goose or a mallard. But let's look at the Remington. The Remington also had a modified choke, but we have a better pattern here. There's no doubt about that. We have 45% of the load in the 12-inch circle, which is 71 pellets. And we have 24% of the load in the 8-inch circle, which is 37 pellets. And you can see how much denser the load is in the 8-inch circle. How many more pellets are at point of aim as opposed to the Winchester. The Remington with the modified choke And these Winchester Dryloks is a far better combination than the Winchester. So this is a combination that I would use. I would use the Remington with its modified rim choke, and I would feel quite comfortable over a small body of water or a small field hunting up to goose-sized targets. And at some point in the comments, somebody is going to ask about the defensive use of this load. In some instances, all the way down to the number 4 fine shot is fine for self-defense. So 2s are bigger than number 4s. Steel, generally speaking, penetrates better than lead does. But that is a generalization. These steel shot are more likely to travel through walls and heavy clothing. But that's not really what this channel's about. But I know somebody's going to eventually ask. So that's for them. But like I said, the Remington with its modified rim choke and these Winchester Dryloks, this is a good combination for waterfowl hunting. So that would be what I would be using. So until next time, y'all stay safe in the goose fields. And God bless. No, it was a mosquito. We had to go get some number 8s and we'll shoot them mosquitoes around here. They're so big.